best boxing content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and punch that bell for notifications.
All right, well, we are set to kick off our night's event presented by Groupe Yvon Michel. Corey Erdman alongside Troy Ross. We get things kicked off in the light heavyweight division. Jeff Page Jr. making it his way to the ring. He's going to be taking on Artur Beterbiev here tonight. Not an enviable task. There's a lot of buzz about Beterbiev, especially around these parts in Quebec. Jeff Page Jr., the guy who's coming in with an unblemished record of 15-0, but there isn't a lot of tape on this guy, Troy. Basically an unknown commodity coming in here tonight.
Yes, it's funny, Corey, because I tried to find tapes on this guy, and the only thing that I could find was amateur fights of him. So it doesn't show too much. Not even a friend of someone could put this on YouTube. Come on.
Well, what we do know is that Page has been training in Big Bear with Abel Sanchez, the same training camp as Gennady Golovkin. He spent 21 days up in Big Bear, so hoping that his time with Sanchez can springboard him skill-wise into a position where he can compete with Beterbiev here tonight. And you hear the ovation here at Le Coliseum for Beterbiev, and it seems like, Troy, the crowd here has really adopted Beterbiev as one of their own. And we've seen it with guys like Lucien Boutte in the past, guys who aren't Canadian necessarily, but they come here, they base their careers here. It seems like people are really taking to Beterbiev in Quebec.
Yes, definitely the crowd in Quebec, they just enjoy sports in general. And that's what I like about fighting. Actually, when I was fighting here, is the fact is that automatically they just gravitated to me. Although I was a knockout puncher, they gravitated to me because of the way I fight, and they just love the sport.
They certainly get the knockouts from Beterbiev. We saw him absolutely destroy Boris Cloud last time out in just his 6th professional fight to go in and wipe out the 7th rated light heavyweight in the world. I think got the attention of the entire boxing world in one night.
Well, definitely he did get the attention. And for one thing, Corey, this guy has over 300 amateur fights. You might as well be professional with all those fights. He looks good, he's got the experience, and he knows how to relax in the ring from what I've seen.
All right, it looks like we are all set for our opening contest here. Artur Beterbiev set to take on Jeff Page Jr. in a 10-round light heavyweight contest. Artur Beterbiev, we mentioned, is 6-0, all 6 of his wins coming by way of knockout, including the big win over Boris Cloud. Some minor titles on the line here tonight, but for Jeff Page Jr., obviously the biggest fight of his career, the biggest stage of his career as well. If we can't find film on this guy, likely Beterbiev hasn't seen too much of him either, so at least in the early going, it could be tricky.
Yes, of course, it's very tricky.
All right, let's send you up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr., for the official introductions.
Pepsi de la merveilleuse ville de Quebec. We welcome you to the Pepsi Coliseum here in the beautiful city of Quebec, as we have a big night of action coming your way, brought to you by Groupe Yvon Michel and Showtime. Sanctioned by the IBM, NABO and NABA, the supervisors Lindsay Tucker and Jerry Bolden, and George Martinez. Introducing our judges for this bout, les juges pour ce combat. From Quebec in Canada, Jean Lapointe. From Rhode Island in the United States, Robert Pierlino. And from Michigan in the United States, Ansel Stewart. And the referee in charge, Jean-Guy Rousseau. Right now, here we go, 10 rounds of boxing at stake. The NABA, NABO, and IBF North American titles in a battle of the undefeated light heavyweight, scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing you first on line left, fighting in the blue corner. Down that corner blue, wearing red, white, and blue trunks, hailing from Wichita, Kansas, in the United States. His weight 174 and 1/4 pounds. His record 15 wins, no losses, 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated light heavyweight, James Page Jr. And
instruction in the dressing room. I want clean fight. Obey my command and protect yourself at all times. Okay? Touch love. Good luck.
We are set to kick things off here from the Coliseum in Quebec City. Corey Erdman alongside Troy Ross. We'll take a look at the matchup here. Artur Beterbiev and Jeff Page Jr. A little bit more professional experience for Jeff Page Jr., but Troy, as we were talking about, for Beterbiev, he's been boxing a whole lot longer.
He's been boxing for a very long time with over 200 amateur fights. I'm more close to 3. He's definitely got the experience and the ring generalship, and should be relaxed inside the ring.
Round 1 begins. This one's scheduled for 10. Beterbiev in the red trunks. Jeff Page Jr. in the star-spangled trunks with USA on the front. Beterbiev known as a fast starter. Troy, we hear a lot of gym stories about Artur Beterbiev, about how nobody here in Canada wants to spar this guy. You know, it's almost like hearing about baseball players from the 1900s. You hear these fables about how hard he's punching guys. Now we get to see him up close and personal.
That's right, Corey. When you hear about guys like Beterbiev being able to take you out with one punch, sometimes it makes the sparring partners very leery to actually even step in the ring, and especially the fighters. They don't want to step in the ring because they're afraid they might get hurt or they might get shown up inside of the ring.
Jeff Page Jr. jumped at this opportunity to take a fight. A fight that's going to be broadcast internationally and on Showtime in the United States. It's a chance he has to take. And for Jeff Page, his career is basically the family business, managed by his father, Jeff Page Sr., trained by his uncle, Jared Page, although we see Abel Sanchez helping out in the corner here tonight. So for them, this is almost the payoff of the investment thus far.
Corey Page is actually looking very good. He's boxing very well, actually. He's moving to the right, to the left, and he's very energetic. Trying to pop the shots off and make him miss. He's moving very well.
Page was a decorated football player as well, so we know he has some athleticism, and thus far, at least in the early going, the opening couple minutes of this fight, he's showing that he can use his legs and use the perimeter of the ring. Minute left to go here in the opening frame. Beterbiev still trying to find his range with Jeff Page Jr.
Beterbiev right now, from what I see, Corey, he's stalking. He's just standing right in front of Page. He should not be. He's got to use that jab a lot more to get to Page. He can't be throwing just the one jab. He needs to double it up.
Hasn't yet been able to get to Page to see how Page is going to hold up against that power that we've been talking about. 15 seconds left to go here in round 1, and truthfully, Troy, it's a tough round to give to Beterbiev because we just haven't seen him do too much here in the opening frame.
That's right.
Down goes Beterbiev on a right hand. What a shocking start.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, Corey. It's because Beterbiev is standing right in front of Page. Page is very elusive right now. It's easier to get the fighter when you're elusive. That way, you get more shots off.
Just as I say, it's difficult to score the round for Beterbiev. That knockdown makes it impossible to score it for Beterbiev. A 10-8 round for Jeff Page Jr. The most unlikely of starts. And Troy, let's take a look at how it happened.
Well, there it is, Corey. He threw a shot. Page ducks under, comes back with the straight right. It's a little bit of off balance at the same time.
But we did just look at that aerial shot, and their feet were not tangled. It might have been a balance issue, but it was not a stepping on the foot or anything like that.
No, it wasn't. It was more awkward and being off balance. But the shot landed. It counts as a knockdown. That's definitely for sure.
10-8 round in the books for Jeff Page Jr. Scorecard on the screen from Don Majeski. He's going to be scoring the fights all night long. Round 2 begins. Artur Beterbiev, thus far as a professional, he's used to being the guy that's off to a hot start with a knockdown in round 1. Learning another lesson as a professional here tonight.
Beterbiev has to stop the stalking. He has to throw punches behind the stalking. It makes it a much easier way to get to Page. But if he just stands there and tries to get to him, which he's doing a very good job right now, he finally got his hand on him.
Page holding on right now. He's been caught by a couple left hooks. And Beterbiev gets the knockdown back.
5, 6, 7, 8. You okay?
Been talking about that fight-changing power for Beterbiev, and immediately he erases that deficit with a couple left hooks. There's the jab from Beterbiev. Trying to work his way in on Page Jr. now.
Page is back to the moving. I would like to see Page throw a lot more jabs because he seems to be he is the taller fighter and the more agile fighter. But you can see, Corey, that Beterbiev has the power behind him, and when he throws his shots, it's very distinctive.
And he caught Jeff Page with another left hook there a moment ago. And that's not something you want to do against Beterbiev, be pulling back with your hands down. And down goes Page once again. A hard shot from Beterbiev. With all the movement, Troy, Page just does not look stable in there right now. Down he goes again, and that will be it.
Page's defense, he needed to keep his hands up a lot more. But from the first time he got hit, he did not know exactly where he was. You could see that he was a little bit loose on his, he didn't have his feet underneath him, Corey.
After a shaky start, Beterbiev pulls out the eraser and ends this one in round 2. And what's interesting about this fight, and very similar to the Tavoris Cloud fight, the punches that Beterbiev lands, they don't look flashy, but it just seems that he has that kind of power that makes guys drop. We take a look at this left hook here from Beterbiev.
Yes, but again, Beterbiev today showed that he's vulnerable and he can't get knocked down.
Still some learning to do for a man who is now 7-0 as a professional. And we spoke with Yvon Michel prior to the show, and he said the plan for Beterbiev is to fight 5 times in 2015. So as much as they're fast-tracking him, they're not going to throw him right into a world title fight either. They want to keep him busy because he does still have things to learn.
Yes, definitely. It's a pro scene. It's very different from the amateurs. So they need to get him to be seasoned, because going in there with a guy like Page today, you can see that he's still vulnerable and he needs to learn the ring generalship as a professional.
Looks like we're all set to make this one official. Let's send you up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.